In exciting college graduate news, I am now a college graduate, which is exciting. And to celebrate, my girlfriend and I took a little Europe trip around Iceland, Denmark, and Greece. Part 1, Iceland, you can find with a link in the description. This is Part 2, Denmark, and its capital, Copenhagen. Enjoy.
So we are here by Christiansborg Palace, and there is something going on here. Bunch of police around, and there have been mumblings that it's the Crown Prince of Denmark who's going to show up. It is apparently his 50th birthday, so I wouldn't put it past him to go on a little public tour of sorts, but
we shall see.
Yeah, we're waiting to see if anything happens, because that could be super cool to just stumble upon the prince's 50th birthday parade. Oh, they're not going here, but they're going somewhere. In there.
No, it's an empty carriage.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. The prince has turned into a ghost. It's not the crown prince, but it's somehow equally as fascinating.
And a lot more weird.
One car that got stuck in traffic behind the royal parade. We're currently standing across from the big Cathedral of Copenhagen, a Lutheran church built in the 1800s, I think. I didn't check. But as you can see, it looks a lot like the Parthenon at first glance in terms of the Doric columns, the triangular pediment with a very classically styled frieze going on. That's because during Copenhagen's heyday as a trading city, up in the Baltics as it is, they fashioned themselves as an Athens of Northern Europe. So a lot of their architecture is done in this highly classical style. Currently standing in front of the Rådhus, and we're in Rådhusplatz right now. This was the site of the old city hall and the town center of Ye Olden Copenhagen. On my left, your right, was the site of the old city walls, which used to be the boundaries for the city, but it wouldn't be the 1800s if there wasn't cholera and overpopulation. So after a certain point, the people in charge realized we probably need to expand the city a little bit. So they took down the walls and started expanding outwards. And one of the things that has come into the new area of Copenhagen is Tivoli Gardens, which we're about to jump into right now. Let's go have some fun. Copenhagen wins the puns arms race. Tivoli, built in the mid-1800s, is one of the greatest theme parks, period. With rides, refreshments, restaurants, and tons of stuff to see and do. It's a wonderful place for children of all ages to come and just enjoy themselves. They have a pirate ship. Man, that's so cool. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I didn't see you in Iceland. Because it's frickin' sunlight all the damn time in Iceland. Jeesh. Ew. Built in the 17th century, Nyhavn, where I am now, or New Harbor, was the mercantile heart of Copenhagen for almost 300 years. Again, Nyhavn, New Harbor, maybe not the most informative name given it's 300 years old, but we still call New York, New York, so I guess the joke's on us. We're currently standing in Amalienborg Square and the surrounding palace, which for over 200 years has been the house of the Danish royal family. It was built by that guy, Frederick IV, done up in the style of a Roman emperor in this nice little statue. And if we look around, over there is the current Amalienborg Museum, where you can go inside and see a bunch of the palaces recreated. Over on our right is the house of the current Danish royal family, the Crown Prince, who just turned 50 yesterday, and his family. Over here is the Queen's house, and finally this is the house of the Queen's guests, which I guess it's the fanciest guest house in the world. Over here is the Church of Frederick V, which is closed to visitors for the next 5.5 hours because nothing nice happens to me.
It's Sunday.
It's Sunday, but like Mass only supposed to take an hour. Anyway, on the other side, we have the Danish Royal Opera House. No, the Copenhagen Opera House, yeah, which is modern and cool and shiny, and that's
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Danish history during World War II is one of total defiance. When they were occupied by the Nazis, they had a pretty hard time under their rule, but there are two pretty famous stories that stand out. One is called the Night of Watching, very early on, when the Nazis wanted to round up all of the Jews and send them off to concentration camps, but the Danes caught wind of it beforehand and hatched a plan to get everyone out and ship them off to Sweden, which is over that way, to completely save them from what would have otherwise been deportation and death. And the second famous story is when Christian X, every day he would ride around town on his horse from Amalienborg Palace, all around the city, and when the Nazis came into town, they told him no, and he said, I'm going to do it anyway. So every day, for almost the entire rest of his rule through World War II, he would get on his horse and ride around town.
So this is actually a bit of an uncommon sight in Copenhagen to see half-timber buildings like this. This is a very Elizabethan style in England at least, and was used around the similar time in Copenhagen, but the problem is they're really flammable. So there were a couple instances of fires breaking out in the city in the 17th and a little bit of the 18th centuries, and then after that the king said, all right, none of this half-timber BS anymore. We're building them with stones and bricks and junk. So yeah, when you see half-timber buildings in Copenhagen, they are old as old. So in case you had any doubt about how far the Vikings went, they went really far. Take that, Sweden. This is the good stuff. Check this out. What is that? What are those? Now this might be my favorite museum in Copenhagen. It is the new Carlsberg Glyptotek, made with a bunch of money from the Carlsberg brewery family. And it's got a bunch of ancient stuff inside, so let's go check it out and have some fun. So this right here is a pretty neat sculpture of a lion, and that's all cool and all, but on the other side they have an attempt to reconstruct what they think the original colors were, and yikes. Good news, everybody. I found Pompey's head. It only took 2,000 years. And a museum.
Okay, so new development. This is the best goddamn city on earth. I'm currently standing outside of the 400-year-old and very lovely Rosenborg Castle, which was built in the late Renaissance by the eccentric king, Christian IV, who built a lot of palaces and buildings and cool stuff around Copenhagen, and also slept with a lot of women around Copenhagen.
This right here is a clock that does two things. It tells time, and it tells everyone else how much more important you are than them. This is the mirror room, and it's been said that on several occasions Bruce Lee has had elaborate fights at the end of movies in here. But it's just speculation. And this is what happens when you drag your goddamn furniture all over the floors. As an avid Assassin's Creed fan, my MacGuffin senses are tingling.
There's a dog behind you.
Okay, let's get the dog in frame. I'm currently standing right outside of Kastellet, which is the big fortress in the middle of Copenhagen. Not really the middle, more to the north. But it is one of Europe's best preserved fortresses, which is really nice, and the Danish military still actually uses it today. But if you look around, it's just a bunch of really nice parkland, which is cool. So you get a nice mix of military cannons and junk, and then pretty trees and lakes.
Just don't touch the cannons.
Just don't touch the cannons. We're currently looking at one of Copenhagen's most famous citizens, the Little Disappointment. The Little Mermaid. And it's a little overrated, because look at all this mess. There's no reason this many people should be here. It's just one statue. It's a very good story, but it's just a statue. I'm currently on top, or not on top, but almost on top of the big shiny tower of Our Lady Church in Copenhagen, and the Christiansborg area of town, where I have discovered that I am very much afraid of heights. I tell you, it's easier to do this shit in Assassin's Creed. Yeah. Fine, let's go. Now that I'm back at ground level, I will say that was very much worth the climb and the price and the fear, but... yikes.
I'm on a boat.
So I am currently in the museum of the sculptor Bertel Thorvaldsen, who was a Danish sculptor but did all of his work in Rome. So he was very classically trained and a lot of his work reflects that. So this statue right here of Mars Ares is a great example of the very creative lengths that sculptors will go to support the actual weight of the statue. So here Mars is in a very dynamic and lifelike pose, but if it was just his body standing there, he would fall over because there's no support. So what you have to do is attach supports and struts of sorts to the legs and arms to keep the statue upright, but that doesn't always look very good. So here you can see drapery and the helmet all connecting to different parts of his body to keep it upright in a very artistic and non-immersion breaking way. So props to Thorvaldsen for some really creative sculpting. So to demonstrate my point, it's just a stick.
We're currently on top of Copenhagen's Round Tower, which was originally built by, you guessed it, Christian IV as an observatory. And interestingly, as improbable as it may sound, this entire tower, all 7 or 8 stories of it, can fit inside that green dome of Frederick's Kirke, which is, again, improbable, but a neat factoid. So a couple days ago, about 3 or 4 minutes ago in video time, I mentioned that this opera house is an opera house that exists. Well, now we're going to see an opera in it, which is very exciting. Tonight is playing The Barber of Seville, which is an opera that's in Italian, but don't worry because there are going to be subtitles in Danish. So I can fake speak Italian, so I'll be okay. And my girlfriend's seen it before, so she ought to be okay. But yeah, we figured come see a show while we're in town. The opportunity was too good to pass up.
Ew.
The lighting's probably a little terrible, but there's a full moon out, so I wanted to show you that at least. But this has been Copenhagen. It's been really exciting. I've enjoyed it. I hope you have as well. I've been Blue. That's been my girlfriend. I promise she's real. And we'll see you later.